You know, we talk a lot about cybersecurity theory, but today we're going to get practical. We are dissecting a real-world threat to critical infrastructure, and we're going to show how modern defenses can actually prevent a catastrophe instead of just cleaning one up. Let's get right into it.
So just think about this for a second. The software that literally keeps the lights on, the software that keeps your data centers from going dark, what if it had a major flaw? This isn't just some abstract thought exercise. This is where the digital world and the physical world collide. And honestly, the stakes could not be any higher. And that brings us right to our case study for today, a really critical vulnerability found in Eaton's power management software, which is used all over the place. We're going to break this threat down to understand, not just what went wrong, but, and this is the important part, how it could have been stopped dead in its tracks. Okay, so the threat actually had two parts, each with its own CVE number. Think of those as unique tracking codes for security flaws. Now, that CVSS score, that's basically its danger rating from 1 to 10. And that first one, it's a whopping 8.6. That's high severity. That's the one we're really going to focus on because it is a clear and present danger. So what's the actual risk here? Well, it all boils down to these three words: arbitrary code execution. Put simply, it means an attacker can run any command they want on a machine they've compromised. It's like you've handed a complete stranger the master key to your entire building. They have total, absolute control. Now look, both of these flaws are bad news, but that first one is way, way more dangerous. And it's for one simple reason: minimal attack complexity. What that means is the attacker doesn't need to be some super genius hacker to pull it off. That low barrier to entry is what makes a vulnerability like this so incredibly threatening in the real world. And here is a super important detail you have to get. We are not talking about some attacker trying to kick down your front door from the outside. These are local attack vectors. That means the attacker has already found a way inside your network. This completely changes the game. The fight is already happening on the inside. So, if the bad guy is already inside the house, what do? How do you possibly stop them? This is where we shift from the problem to the solution. And the answer isn't about building one single taller wall. It's about creating layers of interlocking defenses that are designed to stop an attack at any stage. And this image, well, it illustrates that strategy perfectly. What you're looking at is a full security model that covers the entire attack chain. We're going to use these 4 stages: pre-attack, attack, breach, and post-breach as our roadmap to completely dismantle this threat from Eaton. Okay, theory's great, but let's put it into practice. We're going to walk through this attack step by step and see exactly how a modern, layered endpoint security solution from Symantec would jump in and shut this threat down at every single turn. All right, stage 1, pre-attack. Remember, the attacker is already on your network. Their first goal? They need to find a tool, some kind of lever they can pull to get more power. They're looking for a known vulnerability, just like the one we saw in that Eaton software. But the best defense gets there first. The idea is to shrink the attack surface, which basically means giving the attacker fewer things to shoot at. You do this with tools like application control, which has a really simple but powerful rule. If an app isn't on the pre-approved, known good list, it doesn't get to run, period. If that vulnerable software isn't on the list, the attack is over before it even starts. Okay, but let's say the attacker does find the vulnerable app. Now we're at stage 2, the attack itself. They are going to try and exploit that insecure library loading weakness to trick the system into running their malicious code. This is the moment of truth. And boom, this is where the next layer of defense kicks in: attack prevention. See, modern tools don't just hunt for old viruses they already know about. They use things like machine learning and behavioral analysis, like Symantec's sonar technology, to spot suspicious actions. It sees that application trying to do something it shouldn't, like loading that malicious library, and it just blocks it right then and there in real time. The exploit is stopped cold. Now, just for the sake of argument, let's say the attacker gets incredibly lucky and their code actually runs. Are they going to stop? No way. Now we're in stage 3, the breach. Their next move is to phone home, set up a permanent backdoor, and then start looking around the network for other machines to jump to. And this is where that final prevention layer slams the door shut: breach prevention. Because even if malicious code manages to run, it's pretty useless if it can't communicate. A modern host intrusion prevention system and a good firewall will immediately see that software trying to call home to its command center. It blocks that unauthorized network connection, and just like that, the malware is trapped on one machine, totally neutralized.
So, we've seen how a layer defense can stop an attack at multiple points. That's the technical how. But in the real world, this is a business decision, not just a tech one. So, let's talk about the actual quantifiable payoff you get from this kind of proactive approach.
Let's just start with a really big number. According to a major study by Forrester, companies that adopt this kind of proactive security see a return on their investment of 180%. And that's over just 3 years. This isn't just about preventing a loss. It's about generating real, tangible value. So what does that 180% ROI actually look like in dollars and cents? Well, it translates to a net present value of $5.5 million. That's the real financial value you create by making your business more secure and more resilient. And for me, this might be the most critical number of all, an 80% reduction in the actual risk of a data breach. Just think about that for a second. That is a massive drop in organizational risk, and it directly impacts everything from your operations to your bottom line. But the benefits here aren't just financial. There is a huge human element to this. Right now, security teams everywhere are dealing with a massive problem called alert fatigue. They are literally drowning in a sea of alerts, and most of them are false alarms. It makes it almost impossible to find the real threats in all that noise. So how do you fix that? With smart technology. The principle is simple, really. Modern platforms use AI to act as a kind of super intelligent filter. It automatically sifts through and sorts thousands of incoming alerts, separating all the background noise from the things that might actually be a threat. And the result? The signal-to-noise ratio improves by 6 times, letting your human experts focus on the fires that actually matter. So when we talk about the real ROI of security, this is what it's all about. It's not just about stopping one disaster. It's about building a smarter, more resilient, and more focused organization every single day. And don't just take my word for it. This quote from an IT director in that Forrester study just says it all. The best security tools aren't a cost. They are an insurance policy that pays you back almost immediately, just because they take so much risk off the table. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your security built for prevention, or is it just built for response? Is it designed to get out ahead of the threat, or is it just waiting around to react after the damage is already done? Thanks for tuning in.